Ooh, let's not do that. Yeah, by the way, my face tries to eat itself. Like, no big deal. It happens all the time. It's called acne. Ooh, it's, hello from Casper. This is how you know that I am super dedicated, because I was like, you know what, my face is trying to eat itself, but I'm just gonna do it anyway. Oh my god, the sun is just killing me right now. I probably won't be able to give you half of this because like half of my face is going to be gone, and it's not even the good half. I mean, I should have angled it so that this half of the face is, like wiped out, because I mean, obviously I got this thing here. Like, that's it, y'all. That's it right there. You can call me Eggwad. I am Sam. Lessons by Sam. Is that going to be it? It's not going to be it. Hi, my name is Sam. I am your friendly neighborhood ghost. What are you going to call me? I don't know. Whatever you want to call me. It'll be weird, but we'll catch it on camera at the very least. I have decided to create a YouTube channel where I am now going to be your professor. What is this channel going to be called? Sam talks about stuff that no one asked her to talk about? Is it going to be called, I don't know what you're going to call me. Eggwad is my Xbox Live name. I like English by Eggwad. English by Eggwad. That's what it's going to be. English by Eggwad. I'm a professor in community college. This is going to be a channel where you come to learn things from me that you would normally learn in an English course in a community college. I teach English, I teach rhetoric, I teach argumentation, but the problem is that you can't fit the humanities into those little boxes like, oh, this is only philosophy, oh, this is only history, oh, this is only English. And what is it that you're going to learn? That's a great question. You are going to learn things about critical thinking. You're going to learn things about writing. You're going to learn things about reading, rhetoric, argumentation, how to understand the world around you with a brain and a mind, high-functioning brains like ours and humans that give us the ability to create something incredible, extraordinary, like language, which is just mind-boggling how the brain works in that way. The problem with literally everything in the world, truly, is that humans are pieces of shit. We take for granted that humans are using their language in good faith all the time. And there's a problem with that. The problem is that we're not. I'm just trying to figure out how to explain it. So that's probably going to be what this opening video is going to be about. I mean, once you can get past the fact that you can only see half of my face. We have this thing we call the humanities, right? And we call them the humanities because they cover what it means to be human. And what is so crazy is that despite the humanities being essential to a good, well-informed, well-developed, high-functioning society, humanities are instead targeted as being less important than practical, quote-unquote, subjects like science and math. And those subjects are wonderful and great. Don't get me wrong. Please, I'm married to a scientist. Just, a great guy. Sorry, I haven't told him that I'm doing this. I've told him that I'm doing this? Probably. What am I going to tell him? Is this going to be one of the things? Is this going to be one of the themes of this series? How many times I can make a video and like how many times I can do this and like not have my husband know? Is that going to be a thing? The humanities are the arts, the literature, the learning of reading and writing and learning about thinking, philosophy, history sometimes falls under the humanities. What people don't understand about the humanities is that you cannot understand the practical world around you without language. The way that we as humans develop as a society was when we developed language to be able to talk to each other, to understand each other, to relate to each other, and also for practical purposes. Borrow somebody else's stuff, this amount of chickens. I'm sure it was a little bit different like that in Mesopotamia. But if you can hear my cat in the background, that is my cat. Yeah, he'll be fine. I hope that you can still hear me and not just him. Anyway, maybe you have never felt like you were good at English. Maybe you think you're a bad reader. Maybe you think you're a bad writer. I hate those terms. There's no bad reading and no bad writing. There are readers and writers that are experienced, effective, and there are readers and writers that are inexperienced, less effective. I'm getting ahead of myself. You can't understand the world around you without language. That's the point. We create our experiences and our understanding of the world with our language and our ability to read it, communicate with it, understand it, and break it down. I teach this every day. And every day when I look at my students, I see in their faces the potential to change the world. What we've forgotten about teaching in the humanities is that without critical thinking skills, you cannot use the other tools like reading and writing and rhetoric and communication to your best advantage. And in fact, you open yourself up to be abused and taken advantage of. This is the creation of every problem and every piece of strife in human history. And that is why when I say I'm going to teach you English, what I really mean is I'm going to teach you how to use your minds. I'm going to teach you how to use your minds in conjunction with how to use your language. And in this marriage of these two wonderful things, the creator and the creation, the mind and the language, you will be able to entirely change how you go about understanding, navigating your world, and you'll learn so much more about the world around you, about the people around you, about how to use the resources that we have as a global society to our advantage instead of to our inadvantage as humans. Your amorphous thoughts are happening with language. It's how you learn to communicate when you're learning to speak as a child. You don't, pop out going, "Hello, Mom, nice to see you." That was a really long. I am this is so bad. Babies learn how to communicate with language because they listen. And that's the first step of truly learning and acquiring a language. The second step in acquiring a language is then being able to produce what you have been listening to via speaking it yourself. You have to be able to listen and hear it and understand it. Only then can you move into producing it yourself out of your mouth. The first step after that, step 3, technically, hold on. Step 1, listening. Step 2, speaking. Step 3, reading. To learn to be able to read. So you don't need the audio version of that language. You can look at symbols on a page, and those symbols translate to the sounds that you create mentally in your head, and you can understand what it's trying to say in the language that you understand as audio. That is an incredibly crazy step. When people feel like they're stupid because they can't read or they're not good reader, reading is so hard. What is a good reader? I could talk about this forever. There's a reason that you take years as a child learning how to read. So you're not stupid. Reading is one of the hardest things that humans can try and do. One of the hardest things that the human brain has ever created and has ever tried to engage in. Because reading is associated with this building block of creation in general, which is language. And then the very last step of acquiring a language and becoming fluent in it is writing those symbols and being able to put those symbols on a piece of paper with your hand and create something for someone else to then read and achieve that step that you just took forever being able to learn. And you are not a weirdo for having trouble with your native language any more than you are a weirdo for having trouble trying to acquire a second language. You already took years of your life acquiring that first language. Of course you're not acquiring the second language after sitting in one class for 1 year and learning all of the declensions of the nouns. Let's work together. In this weird time, we're in this weird time, and I have been in this quarantine missing my students, wanting to reach out to the people in our time because we live in this strange time in the US. There's this movement almost against using your critical thinking skills, almost against the act of questioning and trying to figure things out, manipulating language, using it for selfish purposes, being able to differentiate between what is truth, what is fiction, what is somebody trying to get something out of you, what is this language, this piece that is in front of me attempting for me to understand, what does it want me to do? We live in a time right now in America where people almost don't want that out of their citizens, which is insane to me, because when you promote tribalism and you promote pushing down on critical thinking, you are saying that you don't want to develop as a society. We are based on the foundation that human beings in our society, our citizens, need to be able to make the decisions for ourselves. That's why we elect representatives to represent us, to represent our thoughts and our ideas and what we want for our society. Why do I say it that way? Well, because there is a very, very small class of people that essentially, whether officially or not, make all of the decisions and all of the rules for everything going on in our society based on their influence alone, and they do it through money. Because of that, and because of decades upon decades of rhetoric, which is language that has been used to brainwash is such a hard word. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. This is not a conspiracy. Teaching English should not be a conspiracy theory. Teaching critical thinking skills should not be some fringe idea. Teaching things like critical thinking skills and the ability to understand rhetoric and the ability to use rhetoric, not just harmfully the way people have been doing it for years, but using it in ethical ways, in ways to better society and understand people more. I've been in this quarantine and I've been feeling for a long time that I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough. The interests that I have in this life, which is obviously English, that's why I got my degrees in English. That'd be very sad if I got degrees in things that I was not interested in. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. Man, if that's happened to you, like, that sucks. You are awesome times infinity for doing that, because I barely had a good time doing it, and that was a shit that I likes to do. It's really hard to get an education, y'all. I didn't feel like I was doing enough. And I wanted to change that. I really, really, really wanted to change that. I write, by the way. I've self-published a book. It is called Sought in Sense by me, Sam Maroney. Oh, I guess I am going to have to give my name now, huh? Great. I've had things published in literary magazine. I have always written. I've written since I was a child, and I've always known that I wanted to write. And I predominantly write fiction. I know this stuff, and I learned this stuff, and I can teach this stuff, and I do teach this stuff, but I'm not reaching enough people. The people that I reach are the people who have the privilege enough to be able to get their butts in the seats in our community colleges. Like, information should be something that you have to buy rather than just like learn. I needed to be doing more. You know, I love teaching. I love my classes. Why can't I do that but in a video on the internet? And all of these alarm bells went off in my head at first, and I was thinking about this like a week ago. I was like, you've never done video editing. You can't perform anymore. You haven't done it for forever. You've never done this. You've never been able to have people follow you on YouTube forever. You suck. Am I really performing though? Because I mean, it's just the same way that I talk as like when I am a teacher. Although I guess I'm kind of performing when I'm a teacher, because I, have to like censor myself a little bit. Like, you know, I can't just be walking around like calling people on their shit, although I do often call people on their shit, but I do it in a nice way, which you'll be able to do too once you start learning from me. So eloquent. The goal of this entire channel, the goal of this entire endeavor of mine is to teach you the stuff that all I can do is give you what I have to offer, and this is what I have to offer. It's my passion. It is what I love. We're sitting in my library. I call it my library. As you can tell, I love stories. This is what I can do for you. So if you are interested in listening, this is what I have for you. Could you, I'm in the middle of this, please? It's a little rude. Well, why don't you come over here and tell it to their faces? Somebody. Who knows why? Long story short, if you are willing to sit and listen, if you are willing to watch me be crazy and ramble on and on about the thing that brings me the most joy and the most energy and the most excitement and passion for life, that I have to offer, and hopefully I can keep doing this and do it in a timely fashion. Hopefully it finds you in this strange place where we're all staying at home and social distancing and needing to figure out ways to understand the world around us without being able to go outside as much as we used to or meet our friends as much as we used to. And maybe some of us are going stir crazy. I know I'm going stir crazy. Am I going stir crazy? Was I not crazy before then? That's a debatable question. I hope that this finds you well. I hope that you watch this video and you think to yourself, this is something that I feel like I want to learn. Anyway, I'm going to end this because I've talked way, oh, wow. Is that really how long I've been talking? My cat is yelling, as I'm sure you've still heard. My husband's probably going to be home soon. I have to go. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I see you again really soon. Hopefully you guys have questions for me. And if you do have questions for me, please put them in the comments. Please subscribe. Please click the like button. Please click the bell button so that you can see when I post our very first lesson. My husband is coming home. So I'll see you guys when I am able to post the video next. We have a whole lot of time on our hands now with the quarantine, so it shouldn't be too long from now. See you guys next time. Namaste. Bye.